All right, it's bourbonblog.com live. It is a pleasure tonight to introduce an actor that I know you've seen in some great movies, films, TV shows. The prequel Yellowstone 1883, he portrayed Innes. He also has a lot of other projects he's going to tell us about, as well as a new bourbon that he is ambassadoring. It's Emmy and Tony Award winning Eric Nelsen. How's it going, Eric?
It is going great. I'm happy to be here.
Well, hey, thanks for taking a few minutes to join us on Bourbon Blog and to tell us about Bucking Bull. Bucking Bull Bourbon is it's coming soon to Texas to start with, isn't it?
That's right. Yeah, we are a Texas-based new bourbon company, Bucking Bull Bourbon, and we're distilling out of San Antonio. We're aging our barrels 5 years, and we actually so we're using Alamo Distilling in San Antonio, but we're also have purchased many barrels ourselves that we're aging in-house as well. And it's a family-owned and run company, but we're very, very excited about it. We're going to start our footprint in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and we're going to kind of grow and expand from there. And bottles will be available starting the first week in April. So very excited for the public to get to jump on board with us. I'm thirsty just thinking about it.
I can't wait to try it too. It sounds so good. It has a cool story behind it too. I mean, from spending a little time in Texas, I know what a bucking bull. I have a pretty good idea that a lot of people do, but how did this whole name come about, Bucking Bull?
It's a great, great story. Our founders, Phil and Sarah, would tell it much better. So I don't want to butcher it, but long story short, Phil came home with a baby bucking bull, and his wife Sarah thought he was absolutely crazy. And so the story goes, to make up for the fact that he wanted this bull, he was like, "Oh, but it's also going to be a part of this, new this bourbon I've been wanting to create." And she's like, "Okay, wait, where are you going with this?" So the story elaborates and gets crazier. So then he expands on it, and he's like, "Trust me, this is, basically the beginning of something great that's about to happen in the bourbon world." And it kind of grew from there. But if it wasn't for this little baby bucking bull that he purchased at an event, I don't think we'd be here right now.
Beautiful, colorful label that actually has a story too behind it.
Yeah, no, it is. It's an absolutely beautiful label. It's very colorful, as you'll see, and it's a bucking bull, of course, going along with our title. But it's one of those labels that, we really wanted to make sure when it's sitting on a shelf next to all these bourbons you've known for centuries almost, that it's going to stand out. And it really does just that. The colors in it are so vibrant, and it's really, kind of tackling and kind of pulling your attention and focusing on, not just the colors, but, it's very bullish. And we're catering to, not just kind of the extreme sports lovers like the, the rodeo folks and the Western folks, but, any thrill seekers, really. We're really trying to tailor it and market it towards the new young bourbon drinking generation. Because we've got all these old bourbons that people have, seen their whole lives, but we're excited for the next bourbon for people to be able to grow old with. And we're hoping that it's going to be this.
I like that. How does that feel to you? I mean, to know that this is obviously a time when all bourbons are growing, you're getting involved with something that will be here for many years.
Since 1883, I've really been looking for kind of my, a business venture to kind of help grow my brand and to really capitalize and utilize the fan base that I've gotten through the show. And this was on the nose, the perfect opportunity. And as a bourbon lover myself, it checked every single box, and I'm so happy to kind of get in it on the ground floor and really help this company grow. And it's funny because how I came into the company is a great story within itself. I was competing in the Celebrity Cutting Horse competition, which is an event held in Fort Worth, Texas at the Will Rogers Coliseum once a year, and it benefits the Carity Cancer Foundation. And it's an event that Taylor Sheridan, the creator of our show, puts on, and he's always got the lead stars of Yellowstone involved that are competing, and people. It's a sold out Coliseum, so we up more than 5,000 seats sold to watch this event. And this year specifically was 1883 versus Yellowstone. It was, the top riders of 1883 versus the top riders of Yellowstone competing for the coveted grand champion title. And Bucking Bull was one of our sponsors, and all of us celebrities got a gift bag at the end of our competition, which I can brag for a second. I did end up taking first place in this, so that was very exciting.
Congratulations. You took first place in the whole thing.
In the whole thing, I got my grand champion belt buckle, that I've got, and a big old trophy to, remind me of what a special moment that was. But needless to say, their bourbon was in our celebrity gift bags, and got to meet the founders, Phil and Sarah, who were also there that night, and really took a liking to them. And then I tried their bourbon, and it blew me away, from the very first sip. It's 100 proof, so it's got a nice kick to it, but it's also really got sweet notes to it. It's silky, and it just, TX bourbon is wonderful, but can almost be a little too sweet for me at times. I like a little more substance, and that's what Bucking Bull brings. And so it just hit every note. And I knew they were a new company, and so I got my business manager involved. I said, Joe, who's my business manager, I said, whatever you can do, we've got to get involved with this company. This is amazing. However I can help. And turned out, months later, a lot of phone calls later, and contract signed. I'm, a partner and ambassador of the company now, and it's just been such a fun ride. It's also got a lot of family values behind it, which I really enjoy. I've got 2 kids and a wife at home of my own, and so family means the world to me. And getting to have creative say and not having such a big corporate company down your back yet is kind of a breath of fresh air at this time.
Yeah, and we really appreciate the smaller brands, what they're doing all over the country. I know the Texas grain, the Texas atmosphere, the terroir there. I've tried a number of Texas bourbons that I just love. I mean,
it's a special time to be in Texas, and for that matter, to be in the alcohol industry, because it just seems to be exploding. Every year we're hearing about new exciting things coming to life, and to get to be a part of that, it's really special. And I don't mind the taste testing either.
Well, I'm thinking about as we're watching 1883, we're watching, a lot of these amazing actors like yourself performing on this that are all part of the Western heritage of movie making. And I'm thinking, did they ever share any, off camera, any bourbons, but maybe before a cut, after a cut?
There was that's pretty much all that was around. Is you're either drinking water all day, and then when the day's wrapped, you're drinking some sort of good whiskey or bourbon. And I will say Miss Faith Hill enjoyed Bullet Rye. So we all became big Bullet Rye fans on that set, which still to this day I love and enjoy very much. But it's just one of those things when you can just sit down at the end of the day, enjoy a nice glass of bourbon, and just kind of reminisce on the day and on your journey. And to me, those are some of my favorite parts of each day. And when we're all enjoying the same thing, and getting a kick out of it under the Texas stars, it's just, you can't beat it.
But the way that bourbon brings us together, whether we're in the West or whether we're in the South, with the history of America, whether it's the horseback riding, with the true West. I mean, these are stories that we can share for many years. Talk a little bit about, obviously the story of how you came into being as the ambassador with Bucking Bull is really pretty cool in itself. Talk about just, how you hope that Bucking Bull will bring together folks, and, and how you already see it happening.
It's one of those things that, when you go to a bar, you're either choosing the one bourbon you always choose, or, typically they'll just say, I'll just take whatever your house is.
Right.
So it's one of the two. And so it's really about establishing why we need to be the bourbon that people choose. And that's I'm using my name and my platform right now to get the word out there, and to really kind of educate people on why this is such a not only delicious bourbon, but why they should give it a chance. And, a lot of these newer young generation bourbon drinkers don't really have a palate developed yet. They don't, have much experience. And, they're kind of, well, my dad always drank this, so I'm going to drink this. Or, they start experimenting and trying different things. This is a bourbon all those generations can get behind and really see grow and develop and be on the ground floor of. As a millennial myself, I hope I can, at least be relatable and attain to their interests. And, we're going to be doing events all over the country, and, we're going to be very active throughout the PBR, which is now the home of that is in Fort Worth, Texas. And of course the stock show and the rodeos and, the whole Western atmosphere and world we're going to be heavily involved with. But we also don't want our whole brand to be known as just Western, because it's much more than that. And we're targeting the thrill seekers. We're targeting the adventurous, people who want to take a step back from their normal, day to day and try something new and fresh. I guarantee you, anybody who tries this bourbon is going to fall in love with it. And that's going to be from beginner bourbon drinkers to drinkers who have been, bourbon lovers their whole life. I just encourage you to try it, and that's all it's going to take. And, if the colorful bottle on the shelf doesn't pull your attention, hopefully I will. And between the two of those, you guys won't be sorry.
If you had to describe the flavor in a few words, what are some things that come to mind? What does it taste like?
It's got a little kick, which I really like. It's
like a bucking bull.
Like a bucking bull. It's not subtle. It's not something I would want to just slip in with, a Coca-Cola and say, here's a drink. This is something you need to enjoy. It's a premier bourbon. So you want to enjoy it just neat or on some ice, especially those bourbon drinkers, to really hit all the notes. But as I said, it's smooth, but yet it's still kind of sweet and silky. And it's mashed with a higher than average bit of rye and a lot of straight corn with a dash of malt to kind of open that up and get those flavors going. So it really is a good combination and mix. And it's why I say it's good for everyone is it does have a little bit of that sweetness. And so it's not going to scare away. I had my wife try a sip, who's not a big bourbon drinker. And she was like, oh, this I could drink, this is good, because there's still so many flavors that are attacking your palate. And so, it's like a good wine. It gets better the more you sip on it. And, I'm excited. I'm excited for everybody to give it a try. And, I certainly wouldn't put my name on something that I didn't wholeheartedly believe in. And, I'm not speaking from a bias here. I'm truly a believer.
Well, hey, whether it was 1883 or maybe another movie or TV show that you were in, was there ever a time where you were, for any kind of scene, where you were given permission, hey, have a little whiskey before this scene? Or if there wasn't, did you ever wish you had some whiskey during a scene for whatever came next? And what would that scene be, if so?
That is a great question. We've got a union who is very against any alcohol use on set. So per SAG-AFTRA guidelines, I'm going to plead the fifth. But what I will say is it's almost impossible to shoot a Western and not at least need to coat your mouth in a little bit of bourbon before each scene, just to kind of get you in that mode and that spirit. And, it opens you up. And so, especially on those, 99% of our show, we're filming outside on horseback, and all we have are the clothes on our backs. And so you can imagine on those brisk winter nights, it's very cold. And bourbon's a wonderful blanket that you don't need to have over your shoulders. And so, those are all good tools. You got to just know your limit, everything in moderation. But to get that palate cleansed and to just, get that nip of warming your blood up a little bit, it's almost crucial.
We can't wait to try Bucking Bull. I'm looking at the website, of course, brand new. It's going to be released in Texas very, very soon, right? I mean, it's coming soon to most all of Texas.
Yeah, and I'd strongly encourage you guys to follow me on Instagram at Eric Nelsen Official. Nelson is spelled strangely. It's Nelsen. official or our official page, which is Bucking Bull Bourbon. And I'll be posting updates constantly. We'll be posting from the Bucking Bull Bourbon Instagram and the website,
Yeah.
which you just pulled up. So thank you very much
Yeah.
for that. And between those three things, you'll have all the information you need. And I love to hear from, the fans of not just my work, but also of the bourbon. So please reach out. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know how we can come to a city near you. If you know of any great bars or restaurants that you feel deserve a good, a bucking good bourbon, Texas based and homegrown, please let me know. And we love to take trips and meet with different places. So we're open to all opportunity right now.
Well, I like that. And I noticed on your website as well, Bucking Bull Bourbon, there is a push to really introduce what are called bucking words into popular culture, like bucking good, buck up, buck yeah. And I actually like the fact that you guys are a little on the edge. There's even one listed on the website. Check out the website, y'all, that says Mother Bucker.
That's right. Buck off, pal. It's just you can keep them coming with a title like that. It's kind of fun. And the more you drink, the more you figure out. So
the more you figure out. Yeah, some great cocktails listed there. Again, that is the website to go to. Hey, talk about on the edge. There's even one called Horny Mule. And Boulevardier. I mean, this is fun. Did you create some of these? You helped them with this, didn't you?
They had great inspiration going into these cocktail creations and the names. I did have some slogans that I threw out. We just did a big official photo shoot, and we have a bunch of behind the scenes videos that we'll be releasing soon on our Instagram. And there's definitely some bucking good entertainment on there, and we get to utilize a lot of our fun, puns throughout. But I'd love to also hear of other people, what they can come up with. And if there's something funny and creative, who knows, I'll put it on a post or put it on the website. So please send them at me.
We're gonna make sure we look for some more. There's his official Instagram, Eric Nelsen official. Make sure you follow Eric. And any other new projects in the field of acting, producing that are coming up you're able to mention?
Yeah, so I've got a number of things coming up and a number of things I just completed. For my Western fans, we're actually going to be doing later this year. We're going to be doing the first ever story on Will Rogers, which I'm very excited about. Texas icon, Oklahoma icon and legend, and in his day was arguably the most famous human being on the planet. And so many people know his name and they see his statues around the country and his state parks and you name it, and don't really know the story behind the guy. And it's truly one of the most fascinating stories I've ever read or learned about. So we've got that coming up, which I'm very excited about. I'll be a starring role in that.
Wonderful.
And I'm also doing another Western called Butched, which we'll be shooting this summer in Utah. And my co-star from 1883, his name is James Landry Hébert, who played Wade, which was my cowboy counterpart on the show. Him and I will be playing cousins in that film, ironically. So that'll be fun. And just finished two great movies. One's called Holly by Nightfall, which we shot in Houston, Texas, which kind of follows a group of early 30-somethings trying to navigate through the world and just showing what life is like through different, places in your life at that age. And then Shaky Grounds, which the title might be changing as of right now. It's Shaky Grounds, but I get to play a rock star in that movie. That was a lot of fun. Learned to play electric guitar for that, and I get to sing 3 songs in the movie. So I'm keeping my it's funny because all the scenes, all the big concert scenes, which we had hundreds and hundreds of extras for all my concert scenes, and they'd all come up to me like, I'm a huge fan of 1883. I cannot believe you're the same actor who did Ennis, who's now doing this rock star role. I was like, could it not be any more different? And that's kind of what I'm aiming for right now. I'm all about versatility. I'm having so much fun with these new offers coming through, and you want to keep fans on their toes, but of course want to hold on to my loyal Western fans. So I'm always going to sprinkle in some Westerns throughout all the other fun stuff.
That's right. Put it up there one more time. BuckingBullBourbon.com is the place to go to learn more about the bourbon. It's going to be in Texas first. In the future, it may be other places, but we know it's in Texas first, right?
That's right. That's right. It will expand from there, but we're going to start our footprint Dallas-Fort Worth area, and we're going to head to Houston after that, and then sky's the limit.
And here is his Instagram at Eric Nelsen Official. I got to tell you, I mean, amazing job at 1883. I think it's so cool you are doing so many versatile roles, so many different types of roles. To me, that really is a hallmark of an amazing actor, to showcase all that you can do. Is there a role that a type of role or a specific role you haven't played yet that would be like your dream role that you haven't done yet?
Yes, up until 1883, it was to be in a Western. Now, of course, I have a a new one calling almost every other week, just because of that, which has been such a blessing. I've really always wanted to do a war movie, get in the trenches, just hardcore, Platoon, Saving Private Ryan, Hacksaw Ridge, just a gritty war movie. I've never had the opportunity, but I would love to. That's on the top of my list.
Now he's put it out there, so you never know. Now it may just follow you. Hey, Eric, thanks so much again. Big congrats on all you're doing, not only with Bucking Bull Bourbon, with your whole career. It means a lot to have you on Bourbon Blog, and can't wait to have a sip with you when I am back in Texas.
Very, very excited about that. We're going to make that happen no matter what. So thank you, sir. Thank you to all the listeners. Had a great time, and really appreciate everybody.
Thank you so much.